Hello and welcome to the Sacred Priestess podcast, where I help beautiful awakening women activate their sacred feminine power so that they can find clarity, connection, and confidence in their spiritual healing and awakening journey. And I'm Hayley, and it's great to have you here. Thank you for returning if you are here with me again. And if this is your first time, welcome. I'm so grateful that you are here, that you have stopped by, as today we talk about ritual. Last week, we talked a little bit about 3 foundational things that really help us to embody the sacred feminine. You know, in the spiritual space, it can be very easy to gain a lot of knowledge and watch a lot of things, read a lot of books, do a lot of courses, but, you know, we very rarely turn that knowledge into knowing and really embody what it is that we've been learning through practice. So that's what we talked about last week, and ritual was one of those things that we were talking about. So today I just wanted to share 5 of my favorite rituals, 5 things that I do in my daily life as I go about my business that really help to connect me with my sacred feminine energy, that help me to activate the energy within me, things that I do when healing comes up, when I just really want to connect into that. So some of these are daily practices that I do, some are weekly, some are monthly. Sometimes I have things that I do a couple of times a day, especially if I'm in healing and I feel like my energy needs some clearing out, or if I've been like to a shopping center and I want to clear my energy out, you know, I might do that a couple of times a day. So there are some things that I do more often, but yeah, I've just picked 5 today that I wanted to share with you. So before we move into ritual, I just want to quickly go back to devotion and intention. And intention is really, really important. And I think every day we need to wake up and remember, state, write out, journal out why it is that we're on this path, why it is that we are walking through our spirituality. I mean, I know as somebody who's had an awakening, you kind of get forced into it, but we need intention on our journey, intention for walking this priestess path and to stepping into these sacred feminine teachings. So what my intention is every day when I wake up, and I don't journal it or anything, I just sit and think on it and activate it through either speaking it out loud or you know, saying it in my mind in meditation. But my intention is always, what do I need to do, release, activate, step into today in order to continue to fully align with my higher self, fully align with expansion, with possibility, with joy, with abundance, and really step into my highest timeline and therefore step into the new earth timeline. So yeah, it's a little bit different every day. But it really is just setting the intention to, like, what do I need to do? Be, release, step into, activate, in order to step into basically the next level and layer of myself, like the next higher, the next vibrational frequency of myself that I need to step into. Where does my energy need to go? And so I highly recommend either writing an intention, setting an intention every morning. You get, like I said, you can journal on it. You can have it already written out and just read it every morning, the first thing that you do. And it really anchors you into what's going on here on this planet and why our journey is so important and what is really important at this time as we move through this awakening. So yeah, setting that intention is the first thing we do. And ritual is all about intention at the end of the day. Sorry, excuse my paper smushing about. So 5 rituals. The first thing that I do every day is my morning ritual. Now I kind of have 2 because I always go for a forest walk, and there's a particular place in the forest that I love to stop and I connect to the earth, I connect to the heavens. I really connect into the nature that is there. I usually do a little bit of light language for, you know, to move some things around within my own energy. So that's one thing that I do. But then when I get home, then I do this other morning ritual too. So first of all, I sit and I sage my space. If I've already got an altar set up, it's always in the middle of my table, but sometimes at the beginning of the week, I might change it around a little bit. So I do that first, bit of a sage, light a candle, again, set the intention. I ground myself into the earth, connect into Chrysophia. I really clear out my energy field. So I pull out timelines, trajectories, cords, contracts that have disbanded, other people's emotions and fears, my own emotions and fears that don't need to be there. So I do kind of like an energy clearing thing so that my field's nice and clean, especially for the work that I do. Like I don't want to be bringing my own mess into this space. So I make sure that that's all cleared. And then I allow my higher self, my guides and angels, the goddesses, to guide me on whatever needs to come through, whether I've had some healing coming up, whether I'm just going to tune into that next higher vibrational level of myself, whether I tune into the energy of joy and abundance and health. So, yeah, it sort of depends on what's happening with me at that time. Sometimes I just sit and breathe and don't do anything else, and nothing comes through and nothing happens and there's no bells and whistles, and I'm just at peace and in alignment with my higher self and really embodying my higher self. So that's my morning rituals. Of course, once that's finished, I do another little sage. I blow out my candle. Sometimes I leave it going if I'm going to just get straight to work with the goddesses or whatever. But yeah, so that's my morning ritual. So the next is once a week, I do a little ritual around my body. So do a bit of a mani-pedi, massage either oils or creams into my feet. Like I do give myself a nice foot massage. I do a face mask, and then I'll lie, like as my face mask is doing its thing, I lie on my bed again with a candle, maybe a little bit of incense or a diffuser going, and I'll just put on binaural beats or some nice Lemurian healing music, or whatever you can find on YouTube. There's some lovely things on there, divine feminine or like a love frequency or something like that. And then wipe the mask off and make sure that I'm doing some nice moisturizer, and I might do a little hand scrub as well. Like if I've done my nails, I'll do a hand scrub and really feel myself, like the massage, like as I massage the cream into my hands. So, and just really intentionally feeling my body and feeling the sensations as I, rub my feet and rub my hands, as I feel the coolness of the mask, the drying of the mask, the removing of the mask, and that beautiful moisturizer that goes on, and you end up feeling all sparry, and it's very, very nice. So it's just really a time of setting the intention. Again, it's about the intention of loving on my physical body, feeling into my physical body. So that's about once a week I do that. So a couple of times a week, well, no, really a couple of times a day, I should say, not a couple of times a week, I do a yoga practice. When I say yoga practice, it's more of a stretch, really. I'm an ex-dancer, so I kind of do more stretches. I feel into my body, where's tight, what needs moving, what needs breathing into. So I'll sit and do a bit of a stretch. Again, this is around the physical body and just setting the intention to, like I said, feel into what's feeling sore, what needs loosening, where I might have some emotions or cords or things that are stopping me from, feeling at my best within my body. So sometimes I just do it in front of the telly, especially like when I'm doing it a couple of times a day. If it's later at night, I might just do it while I'm watching, I don't know, Shrinking or Paradise or Young Sherlock, Bridgerton. But at least once a day, I do put a little bit more intention and thought behind it into getting out my yoga mat, again, lighting some candles, doing a little bit of sage, and really breathing into the body, breathing into the muscles. And I always sit just for a moment after I've stretched, or lie in that, I don't know, is it savasana? Oh, I don't know the words. I'm not even going to try and butcher it. But, that pose where you just lie on the floor. I think it has something, I think it's called something to do with, I don't know. Anywho, you know the one I'm talking about, where you just lie there with your palms facing the ceiling, like you're falling to sleep. So that's something that I do a couple of times a day. So just that ritual of stretching and feeling into the body and where it's tight and sore. Of course, you know that at least once a day I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards of some kind or an affirmation card of something, because it is my favorite way to connect into my higher self, to connect with the goddesses, to connect with spirit, to get a little bit of information through, to, I don't know, get some clarity, connection, right, in my journey. So I won't always do a big, huge ritual for this, but I'll definitely sit down, take some deep breaths, bring forward my higher self, my guides and angels, deeply root into the earth. And it depends what cards I'm using. If I'm using my goddess cards, of course, that's who I'm going to call forward. I've got these really awesome cards that are very telluric. They're full of dragons and fairies. And so I'll really sit and tune into the telluric realm if I'm going to use those. I have my Seven Sisters of the Pleiades cards that I love to use. So I'll bring those beautiful, gorgeous beings forward if I'm going to use those. So it's just setting that intention to connect with whoever it is that, those cards are calling me to connect with. So, yeah, and usually at the end, I might pop it on my altar or next to my altar and light a candle, especially if it's an affirmation card. I have in the Sacred Priestess Initiation, every week we get a ritual, like a ritual handbook, and each ritual handbook for each goddess has affirmation cards in there. So by the end of the 8 weeks, you've got a 49 card deck of affirmation cards. And so I use those from the goddesses, of course. So I give those a shuffle and I pull an affirmation and I repeat that affirmation a few times. Again, maybe put it on the altar, light a candle. So it's just those little things that are just giving you a little bit of connection, giving you a little bit of insight, a little bit of direction, sometimes validation that we need. We all need validation sometimes. So, yeah, pulling oracle or affirmation cards is another thing that I do on a daily basis. And then, of course, I have my monthly ritual, which I've only started doing recently. I've only done this for maybe the last 4 months. But when that time of the month comes and I sit in reverence, I sit in connection with my womb space when my menstrual cycle begins. And this is because, and I was just doing a class before for the priestess codes talking about the clearing and healing that needs to be done in the belief around the menstrual cycle for women. And, I grew up always complaining about my period because it was painful. And, the amount of times that hear women say, next time I'm coming back as a man because I don't want my period. Like, we've lost all connection to the beauty of our cycle, to the beauty of creation, through all of the different distortions and beliefs and all of those things. And so to sit in this space with your womb, with this cycle, and love on it and honor it, and just reclaim the power of it, reclaim the power of the creation of the womb space. And, when we are bleeding, we're releasing trauma, we're releasing unwanted and unneeded emotions, we're releasing ancestral patterning, we're releasing motherline wounding as we go. And so to sit with that and honor the release, honor the healing, honor, everything that has to do with the cycle. And so again, I just sit with a candle, light the candle, just sit with my hands on my womb. Sometimes I lie, especially if it's in the first couple of days, because I do still get quite a sore stomach, and I might anoint it. I might put some clary sage, lavender to make it feel a little bit better, to infuse those oils into my poor little belly. And so, that's the monthly cycle that I do. And I might, scatter some rose petals, try to make it a little bit more girly, make sure that my roses are near me. Like, I've got fake ones, not real ones. It's got fake roses, but just to sort of have that real feminine feeling around. So, Yes, so I'll just recap those. So I've got the morning ritual. Once a week, I do like a real body ritual of feeling into my body, facials, mani-pedis, massaging my hands, my feet, really pampering my physical body. A couple of times a day, doing the stretching, breathing into the parts of me that are sore and a little bit stiff that maybe needed to have emotions released out of those muscles and really tune into and set the intention for that. Oracle and affirmation cards and pulling those out to have a connection with my higher self, with my guides, angels, telluric realm, all of the things. And then that cyclical ritual with my monthlies. So ritual isn't about it always like looking a certain way. Like it's not about it has to be this same way every time. It's the intention that is the most important thing. It is the devotion, as in, are you doing it consistently? Devotion is about consistency, not okay, I'm going to do it today and then you don't do it and for another 6 months. It's that devotional practice, that intentional practice. But yeah, it doesn't have to look exactly the same every time. I don't have like a little checklist. And it's so much better within the sacred feminine space to follow your intuition, to go, what do I feel like creating with my altar today? If I'm going to sit down and do a morning ritual, do I want to completely clear this altar? Do I want to put some different crystals down? Do I feel the need to, I don't know, go outside and grab some leaves and sticks and create something really earthy? Do I want to light candles today or not? Would I rather put some incense on? Or, you know what I mean? Do I want to anoint myself with oils today? It doesn't have to be exactly the same every time. It's that intention that as you sit down, the reason I'm putting this oil on, the reason that my intuition is allowing me to change up my crystals. So, yeah, really sitting down with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the same every single time. So, I would love to know if you have some rituals that you do. Let me know in the comments. Do you have daily, weekly, monthly practices that you love to, excuse me, participate in? And if not, like have a little think about rituals that you can do that honors the sacred feminine, that honors your body, that honors your cycles, that honors your intuition, the healing that's coming up for you, that honors the path of the rose, the priestess path, the goddess. So yeah, again, like I said, I'd love to know in the comments if there's anything that you do. Please feel free to message me on Instagram, join me in my private Facebook group. I will pop all of the links to that below. And the Sacred Priestess Initiation is coming up again in a few weeks, or maybe 4 weeks time. So I'm going to pop the link so that you can go to the VIP waitlist for that if you are interested in learning more about this, stepping more into ritual, stepping into more connection with the goddess, the path of the priestess, rose teachings, mystery school teachings, opening up that intuition and just really stepping into that sacred feminine power so that you can find clarity, connection, and confidence in your spiritual journey. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye.